If you were listening to Fox News Radio a couple of minutes ago, you heard that Major League Baseball is opening up its spring training season. That is, ball players in Florida and in Arizona, where they have spring training, and that the ball players are all going to be wearing the ball caps from Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, which is where the shooting took place last week, and 17 people were killed. Now, a couple of things. I'm sure it makes the ball players all feel better, and it's a good promotion from a marketing standpoint for Major League Baseball to say, hey, we stand with the dead in this tragedy. But you got to realize it's like wearing pink when the National Football League slaps it on its uniforms in October in support of breast cancer research. It doesn't really do anything to it, but it does allow the NFL to sell some pink gear, which they give. Some percentage of that goes off to the people who are actually doing the cancer research. But it just allows them to sell more gear. I sometimes wonder about the motives of all of this, or the motivations. And I'm not trying to be cynical. I'm just telling you, it's not going to wearing a baseball cap and saying I support them. It's a little bit like the Europeans. Whenever there's a terrorist attack, and you've got 150 people dead after the terrorist attack, a theater or somewhere else, throughout Europe, this has been going on now for several years. And you get the well, we're strong, and this is only going to make us stronger, and we stand with them. But it doesn't actually put the bad guys, more of the bad guys, in jail. It doesn't. I'm just telling you that. That's just a thought that crossed my mind as I was hearing that story today about Major League Baseball. A couple of notes I wanted to share with you about what's coming up on the program today. In about half an hour, we're going to be joined by Debbie Blackwood. She's going to be joining us, in fact, from the Twin Falls Animal Shelter, and she's talking today. The Fur Ball, which is a big fundraiser for the shelter, is coming up a week from tomorrow. Wanted to point out Steve Millington is joining us in the studio. He's here until 9 o'clock this morning. On Top Story on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. We're at 7 again. The wind direction blows ever so slightly. And
you're going the wrong direction here, Bill. I want you guys to get a new weatherman in this organization.
Feels balmy to wear compared to where you were last week.
Yes. And by the way, I checked in up there yesterday, just, hey, how's things going? And they shoveled another 8 inches of snow yesterday during the day, and their temperatures were supposed to be in the below zero range this morning.
Like I was saying last week, Wyoming's an exciting place. The most fun I ever had was one morning in Cheyenne. I watched them stack train cars.
Yeah.
You claim that gun owners are indifferent to the deaths of young people in mass shootings. Now, I mentioned the other day, I remember a mass shooting at a school that happened when I was a junior high school student. I think I was in the 7th grade, because it happened 15 miles away from where I lived at the time. That was 1974. I remember another shooting, was a shooting at an elementary school in the 1970s, late 1970s, because there was a song written by a band called the Boomtown Rats called I Don't Like Mondays, because when the young lady, the teenage girl, was questioned about why she shot up this elementary school playground, she said, I don't like Mondays. I think she's still getting 3 meals a day from the Department of Corrections in California. And here we are 40 years later since that shooting. So these things happened then. These are not new. And we keep hearing, well, we've got to stop this because of the epidemic of school shootings. But there have been school shootings a long time. However, this is not to say that we should condone them or allow them to continue. But again, the problem is not the gun. And the notion that we're going to just come sweeping in here and confiscate everything everybody has is just complete folly. It's not going to work. There was a writer by the name of John Hawkins. Mr. Hawkins was a guest on our program once, if I recall, sometime in the last couple of years. He's a writer. Writes a syndicated column, and he also writes for a lot of other publications. This one appeared in pjmedia.com. What liberals don't understand, the headline reads, a serious attempt at gun confiscation could lead to civil war. That was also a prediction made several months ago by Tucker Carlson. He actually was talking about that on his program following the shooting in Las Vegas. Phil's dad had a great voice, too. Phil's dad had been a singer with his own radio show when he was younger in Baltimore, Maryland. And then he got the calling, and Phil's dad went off to seminary, where he befriended a classmate by the name of William Franklin Graham, Billy Graham. And he said that in those days, Billy Graham was so shy he could not look at people when he had to speak publicly in class. He often would turn his back, and he had to really work at it. So Billy Graham who had this tremendous shyness, overcame it. Now, if you're a Christian, you would say likely the Holy Spirit was at work there, because if you watched Graham during the Crusades, he was a spellbinder. I mean, he absolutely was a spellbinder. He could just stand there. There were no ums or ahs or any of those things in his speaking. And remember, not doing this, he started out long before teleprompters came along. So it was natural, but he had to develop that. It didn't come overnight. And as I say, likely if you come from a Christian perspective, you realize there may have been something else going on there as well, a bit of a higher power involved with the gift that Graham developed over the years. Our guest joining us in studio, Todd Eccles from Patriot Defense, Forrest Anderson from Washington Street Pawn on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. It's 12. We're at 9:34. Do we have a caller with us? Caller coming right out of the break. Caller, you're up next, and you're on the air.
Yes, I wanted to say something about how important it is to be taking the classes, because in my lifetime I faced 3 different times at gunpoint, in fact involved live rounds being fired, and not losing your cool and building that confidence, which you'll get from those classes, is very, very important, not just for women. I've seen a lot of men that caved, and women took over. So please, people, listen to these men and take your classes. Thank you.
Good endorsement there.
Yeah, I like it. No, you take a class and learn how to use your firearm, learn how to use it proficiently, but also it's the discussion part of the classes that is very important too. It's all about learning about what you'll go through. Everyone's human, okay? No one knows exactly what they're going to go through in a situation like this.
A bit of a lightweight. We have right now 11 comparisons that are being made about U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer. And I wanted to share these with you this morning. Number 11, Chuck Schumer got rolled like asphalt on a new highway. Number 10, Chuck Schumer squeezed like Myron Floren's accordion. Number 9, Schumer shut down KO'd faster than Sonny Liston. Number 8, Schumer got whipped like a customer at a Nevada house of ill repute. Number 7, Schumer got hosed like Trump in a Moscow hotel. Number 6, Schumer cracked like a 3-egg omelet. Number 5, Schumer fizzled faster than a bottle rocket in rain. Number 4, Schumer shrank faster than George Costanza in a swimming pool. Number 3, Schumer's going to campaign in the Philippines as the Manila Folder. Number 2, Schumer wilted faster than the Vikings defense. And number 1, Chuck Schumer folded quicker than the Italian army in North Africa.